Let's get into this reaction video, shall we? The Spirit of God has made me. The breath of the Almighty gives me
Thousands of years
life.
ago, high in the icy peaks of the Himalayas, mystics known as the ancient yogis unlocked the hidden potential of the human body and mind through the power of breath.
Shakti.
These practitioners of inner alchemy, masters of life's hidden energies,
Pranayama.
and devoted seekers of truth and wisdom guarded sacred knowledge passed down through the ages. For these yogis, breath was more than just an act of survival. It was the gateway to harnessing prana, the universal life force that flows through all beings.
Yes, we have heard of it called chi, ki, or prana. It's life force energy, vital life force energy. They even extrapolate upon that in shows like Naruto.
By mastering their breath, they unlocked extraordinary abilities that seemed to defy the laws of nature. In parallel, Tibetan monks, inheritors of a unique breathwork tradition, developed the powerful Tummo practice.
Come on.
This method was so potent that practitioners could generate immense inner heat, melting snow around their bodies,
No.
or drying cold, wet sheets placed on their shoulders in freezing temperatures.
No, that sounds really abnormal. That doesn't sound right. Maybe it is.
All through the power of conscious, controlled breathing and visualization. The mastery of breath in these traditions went far beyond physical feats. By regulating their breath, these mystics could slow their heart rates, extend their lifespans,
Yes.
and access altered states of consciousness.
Definitely with the extending life, because you are creating an atmosphere in which all your cells can be vital and they can live and be great, and any precancerous cells get killed off during an activation known as the sacred secretion. It's our body's natural way at healing the cells, at activating dormant brain cells. So it's like attaining super consciousness and attaining perfect health. So if you have like several health issues and you actually tap into the sacred secretion, there's a high probability that if you did it correctly and full potency, that your body's going to heal itself or begin to heal itself. Very fascinating.
Bridging the physical and spiritual.
Big Pharma don't want you to know about this. Woo! These sickos, they don't want you to know about the power of the human body and the power of frequency and vibration and energy. If you wish to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. I think he was leaving us a breadcrumb
realms.
to follow.
Through breath, they shaped not only their inner worlds, but also their physical reality. They demonstrated that by controlling the flow of prana, a force capable of transforming both body and spirit,
Yeah.
they were able to unlock the limitless potential within.
Oh,
Their legacy lives on, inspiring modern.
made me think. He said limitless. Think of the movie Limitless. And somebody said, "Oh, that would be cool. Imagine if," or they say, "I wonder if there is such thing as a limitless pill." And I commented on somebody when they put that on YouTube in 2023 during my spiritual awakening, and I commented on it and I said, "Yeah." Because the video said it, so I commented underneath and I said, yeah, there is such thing as it. It's called CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, because that's what pushes down, and then on the way up, it carries the seed born in Bethlehem, known as the Christ or the Christos, and it sits in the tomb for 2.5 days and rises on the third day, boom, and gives you spiritual enlightenment. Sounds like an allegory for physiological processes within the human body. Interesting. Not to say that Jesus wasn't real. I'm a Catholic Christian. I believe that Jesus was real. He came and he conquered and he died on the cross for our sins. The Old Testament, there's all these things like burnt offerings and whatnot, and they would kill an animal and be like, oh, now my sins are forgiven. Well, Jesus became that lamb, that sacrificial lamb. And then it went from animal sacrifices to human. And he became the last one that was needed. Nobody needed to sacrifice anything after Jesus. That's the whole point. It's said and done. He's died for our sins and we are forgiven. It's a beautiful thing, you know. But within the stories in the Bible, there are allegories for these processes in the body. It can be both. I love how people go, it's this, and then some people go, no, it's that. It's both. It's this and that. You failed to comprehend the possibilities, you know?
breathwork techniques, and reminding us that within each breath lies the potential to transform our lives, expand consciousness, and connect with the infinite. Breathwork isn't just a trendy practice,
Yeah.
it's a lost art.
Huh.
For thousands of years, cultures worldwide, from India to the Arctic, have used breath practices to achieve altered states of consciousness.
And one must understand that the two most important things to sustain our life is oxygen and water. Food is important too, but oxygen and water, we could live for quite a while on those two things. Then we have to eat every, what, 7 to 10 days, 40 days. Jesus went 40 days, you know what I mean? And I don't even think he had water. So how did he do that? Unless it was like a water fast, but I don't recall the specificities of it.
Connect to deeper realms of existence, raise awareness, and explore transcendental dimensions of the mind and spirit. In many ancient disciplines and spiritual traditions, breath was central to our connection with the spiritual realm.
Amen.
Across numerous civilizations, it has been revered as the essence of life and a bridge to higher states of being. Being aware of the breath and learning to introduce new breathing patterns in practice in daily life can transform more than just the body. It is a gateway to deeper spiritual.
There's a really cool one I saw like 6 months ago, and I started practicing it right when I saw it. And I did have a profound shift, but it only lasted like 10 to 20 minutes. And then that feeling, like that high, went away. I think it was called the breath of fire or something like that, but you go like this. So it's in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out really quick for like a while, for like 10 times or for 30 seconds. And then on the last one, you go, the last one is a long exhale. You fully push out with the exhale, like, and then you hold and you hold. Or then one of them, you go, and then on the last one, you go, so a big inhale, and then you hold, and that gives you life, and it makes you feel like almost high, like super alert, super awake. Even colors can look like denser or more colorful. It's amazing, like that breath work can do that to our body. You're manipulating the body's mechanics.
Alignment, connecting us with our true self and the vast realms of divine energy. In yoga, breath is seen as the vehicle for prana, the life force energy.
For the energy, yeah.
Through conscious breathing techniques, we can activate and stimulate this energy.
It's funny because right there is showing the breath going in our nose. It's going down to our, like the base of our stomach. There's a better name, which they always try to say. They say breathe into your blank. I don't know why my brain's not processing it right now. It begins with a D or something. I don't know. But you breathe deep, okay? And then that breath is going down into your stomach. And then on the exhale, you're pushing it up and out, okay? But very similarly to this graph right here with the down and up, that's how the fluid moves. That's how the oil moves down and up our spine. So it actually mirrors that. Pretty interesting.
Energy, unlocking its powerful
You got to breathe into the diaphragm. I was right. It does start with the letter D.
potential. However, most of us aren't breathing properly. Usually we only use up to half of our lung capacity during rest and most daily activities. Even during intense exercise, we only reach about 60 to 70% of our lung potential,
Wow.
leaving much of it untapped.
Okay.
This shallow breathing affects more than just our health.
I have to add something. When I started training mixed martial arts, I had already been going to the gym, walking, jogging, and running on the treadmill and pushing my how much I can handle cardio wise. Then I started doing kickboxing. Then I started doing jujitsu and wrestling, and I pushed my body to the limit. And I kept hitting these new levels, new plateaus, just like training, like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto. You're training and you're getting better, and you keep elevating, right? So eventually I got to the point where my lungs were like my superpower. I had like freaking golden lungs, bro. I could hold in breath for a long time. Also, when people choked me like that, when they got me in a rear naked choke, I could feel that blood's no longer going to my brain. And for some reason, you tap within 6 seconds or you pass out. I was able to make it like 15 seconds, 27 seconds, like before I have to tap, or I'd get my hand under it to open a little, and then that way a little bit of blood can go to my brain. So I became very resilient, not at just breathing deeper, but also even being able to get through with restricted blood flow. And I think that's what brought on the sacred secretion activation was me training mixed martial arts, me eating an alkaline diet, you holding your seed, training and pushing your body to a new heights every time because you are allowing your nervous system to be primed properly. And it also has to do with another system in your body that has to do with hormones and stuff like that, the endocrine system. Okay?
It impacts our mental state, ages us faster, and keeps our consciousness at a lower level.
Not
Breathing
good.
consciously is one of the simplest, yet most profound ways to elevate our state of mind and
Yeah.
expand our consciousness.
Entry level spirituality, breath work, well and deep meditation. Work on those for 6 months, then start to learn about the sacred secretion, hemisync, all the stuff that I talk about, you know?
When you breathe in a specific way, you can truly feel reality shifting around you. In this video, I will show you how to turn your breath into an incredibly powerful tool for transforming your mental, physical, and spiritual state.
Yeah.
Breathing may seem basic, but when done correctly and with intention, it becomes a direct path to a higher state of being.
Consciousness,
It's
too.
a simple practice to learn, yet highly effective for raising your consciousness. We
Awesome.
will explore the deeper symbolism of breath, how
Okay.
it connects us to life force energy, and how
Itself.
mastering it can unlock higher levels of.
They say God's name is Yahweh, YHWH or YH something H, YHVH, even in a weird one like Yahweh or Yahweh, right? Anyways, when we inhale, it goes, you're going, Yah, like Yahweh, Yahweh. When you're breathing heavy and you're labored breathing, like, because say you just trained like I used to, or you're playing basketball and you're like, Yahweh, Yahweh. So they're saying you're saying God's name when you inhale and exhale. That's crazy. It doesn't always sound like it, but sometimes it does, and that's the proof. Okay, there's way more proof. Like these fibers that hold together our protons, neutrons, and electrons are shaped like a cross. Let's see, the sacred secretion mirroring the life, death, and resurrection of Christ. The Christos, Christ oil, anointing oil. The cup runneth over, the land that flows with milk and honey. It's everywhere. You can't, once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you keep noticing even more.
Awareness. Let's begin. Air is far more than just a
Pranayama.
medium for oxygen. It carries an unseen energy, an electromagnetic force that sustains all life. When we breathe, we are not just taking in air, we are absorbing this life force energy, often referred to as prana, chi, or ether. In the next few minutes, we will explore how this works and why it is important. We all have an energy field surrounding us, known as the
Yeah.
pranic field, with a
Not only the pranic field, but also there's an electromagnetic toroidal field produced by our heart, rhythmic, the rhythm of our heart.
measurable electromagnetic layer close
It is a rhythmic inductor.
to the skin. Oxygen, carried in the air we breathe, holds electromagnetic energy that interacts with our body and the Earth's natural energy fields. With every breath, we absorb this energy, nourishing not just our physical body, but also our consciousness.
That's the thing. And we go into autopilot, so we're not aware of this. We're not thinking, oh, I'm taking in life force energy as you're doing deep breath work and meditation. But what happens when you do start to pay attention to it is it grounds you. It pulls you into the present moment. And you can't help but be in the present because it's a present to be in the present. You get it? Our presence I like getting a bunch of presents.
By becoming aware of this
The greatest of all presents is presence.
subtle energy, we can guide its flow through focused awareness, deepening our meditative and mindful state. Breathwork, or pranayama, is a key part of yoga and is used to balance the flow of energy through the nadis, subtle
Yeah,
energy channels in the body.
awesome.
According to ancient yogis, there are 72,000 nadis in the body, with
That's insane.
36,000 on each side.
Insane.
These channels function like invisible rivers of energy, but for most,
Whatever happened to seven chakras? But like I say, if you notice me talk about it, I always say how to activate, burst, and awaken the main seven chakras. I say the word main because there's way more. But the seven main ones are the huge energy centers that can't be avoided or just shunned away. We're aware of them.
they remain blocked, disconnecting them from their full potential. Through pranayama, specific breathing techniques, these channels can be cleared, allowing the dormant energy at the base of the spine, kundalini, to rise.
Oh, cool.
Among them, three are especially important. Pingala,
Okay.
which flows through the right nostril.
I already know what he's going to say. The Ida, the Pingala, and the Sushumna. The Ida and the Pingala go left to right and right to left and look like a double helix right there. The red and blue or the orangish and blue. That yellow line that keeps getting cut up, but it's going down the middle, that is the Sushumna. Okay? That is the chimney. Chi-um-ni. The chimney. The chi, which is energy. Ni.
Ida, which flows through the left nostril. And Sushumna,
Really? I didn't know that. The Ida goes through your left nostril, so that's me feeding the Ida, and then I guess this is me feeding the Pingala. Ah,
the channel to higher consciousness. It is a state where both nostrils flow freely without obstruction, facilitating deep meditation. When Sushumna is open, the mind is free from distractions, thoughts, and unconscious patterns, allowing us to connect to higher realms. These three primary nadis begin at the base of the spine and travel upwards. The points where Ida,
there it is.
Pingala,
There it is. Anytime you see a symbol like that, recognize that, hmm, for instance, Conor McGregor has a tattoo just like this, a little different, but the Ida and the Pingala nerve going around the pole in the center, which is Ida Pingala Sushumna. Then at the top, it goes up, and then there's wings, because that's showing elevated consciousness. You are trying to raise from base consciousness, physicality, this fleshly vessel, right, to spirit, to pure soul matter. And this is about rising from lower to higher. It's symbolic and it's very deep and it has meaning. You'll see things like this on the hospitals because they're mocking us, in my opinion. I think they're secretly mocking us, saying the body can be healed by the sacred secretion activation. You don't need to come to us for money, but we're profiting off of you. That sounds a little schizo, but if you went down each path that I went and had what happened to me, you would understand this and probably think very similarly, if not the exact same. Also, let's go past hospitals and let's talk about Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter. If you ever see the tattoo on his back, that's what it is. It's something very similar to that, right? Now, it's no coincidence that he had it done over his spinal cord or the sushumna, right? Because the Ida and the Pingala nerves go there. So he's mirroring it. He's letting you know if you're the hip, then you know that he's in that secret circle, of people who are adept at spirituality. And it doesn't mean he's a Rosicrucian or a Freemason. It just means he's into that stuff. And, maybe he got it just because he thought it looked cool, but I highly doubt it. I'm pretty sure he understands what that symbol really means and the full on power behind it. I bet you he had sacred secretion activation. I bet you he even knows how to tap in each month. Each month. I'm going to try it again because I've been on retention. I've been in monk mode for like 20 to 30 days now or around there. So coming up on a month. I'm going to start eating alkaline for the next 10 days, 7 days, and then 3 days, so 10. Those 3 days are going to be when the moon enters my sun sign. So that's going to be April 5th. It's funny because that's Sunday, Easter 5th. So it's when the Christ has risen, when has risen. And I'm trying to make my Christ, my Christos, Christ oil, rise. And it's funny because the first day I can actually do that is April 5th when he actually rose. So if I can do this month, oh my God, I will have missed it so much. It happened to me 5 times in a row, 5 months in a row in 2023 from February to the summer. But I mean, incredible, so transformative. I haven't been able to do it since. I was trying really hard for months, and then eventually I gave up for like a year or two, and I'm getting back into it. And I know that these practices I just mentioned can help you tap in. When I tapped in for the first time, I wasn't necessarily doing any of those things. In fact, I was smoking some cannabis at the time, not a lot, but I was still able. They say like stay away from all drugs and stuff and blah blah blah. I was still able to tap in perfectly fine. Well, it was medical, so it was probably safer and no contaminant, so it was cleaner. So I'm ingesting a cleaner plant. Okay, but I recommend just not doing any of that personally because that's what I've heard. But from personal experience, if it's ready to happen, it's going to happen. And besides, I was only on day 3 of holding my seed, and then or 4 or 2, like I didn't even make it a week, and I was still able to tap in, and it was my strongest activation ever. So these things that they suggest are just guidelines for if you can't do it, if it's not working, try implementing them. For me, I guess my body was ready, beyond ready, and I had been waiting all those years to release it, and boom, the awakening happened. But let's continue, shall we?
And sushumna intersect along the spine are known as chakras, energy centers that act as wheels of power and transformation. The physical body is built around this subtle network of nadis, and it is sustained by the flow of life energy through them.
Yeah.
However, in most people,
What is that? Bro, we're done. Not playing with you.
only a small fraction of prana flows dynamically, while the majority remains dormant, hidden in a potential or seed state.
I didn't know that.
This dormant energy is called kundalini, symbolized as a sleeping serpent coiled in the root chakra at the base of the...
Okay, I do know. I thought he was saying that most of it stays dormant, and when you have the Kundalini rising, only some of it, a very little bit, goes up. Because I don't think that's true. I think a lot of it goes up if you do it correctly and you have that full-on experience. But anyways, in my opinion, the sacred secretion, way stronger than Kundalini. Way stronger. And lasts longer, too, like for a month or two. Your first time. I was tripping, like, in my head, kind of.
spine.
But I was so tapped in. All these questions I might have had about life answered, everything answered. I had no more worries or troubles. It was gone. I was just pure bliss and love. So that's embodying Christ consciousness.
Typically, prana flows through Ida and Pingala, but not through the central sushumna, which remains blocked at the base of the spine for most people.
Wow.
Pranayama techniques aim to open sushumna so that prana can flow through it. This awakening
That's what
activates kundalini.
I need to learn how to do that because I did it, but it was only when I was 3 to 5 weeks into sacred secretion activation. So every other spiritual practice to attain illumination or psychic spiritual super consciousness, it became easy. Like it was like putting a game onto very easy mode and then restarting with it being easy because I was already tapped into the hardest one to attain, which is, in my opinion, the sacred secretion. Everything else, Hemi saying, Kundalini rising, balancing and activating chakras within your systems, all effortless to me. But prior to the sacred secretion activation, it seemed like gobbledygook. I just didn't understand it.
Dormant spiritual energy at the base of the spine, guiding it up through the chakras to the crown. Indian mystics have referred to the seventh chakra as paradise, heaven, or what Christ described as the kingdom of God
Within, yeah, I can understand that because the crown chakra connects us to source energy, which is up in the heavens, right? So this white light comes down right into our crown. Boom, and that's where we get downloads sometimes. If you've ever felt like you've gotten these really brilliant thoughts or ideas and you feel like they weren't necessarily your own, that's because they weren't. You got a download from God, the Most High. He's trying to talk to you. Some people say, oh, it's your spirit guides and stuff. I don't dive down that rabbit hole, my friend. I think it's the prime creator of this whole reality. Some people think we live in a hologram. I don't think it's that simple. I mean, they try to say like a table is not a table and it's not really physical. I think you're out there. I think you're a little woo-woo. Bro, physicality is a real thing. Like, we're physical vessels, but we're also spiritual within the physical, okay? But I don't think this is a hologram, bro. This is very freaking real. This is as real as it gets. But the 3D is a denser reality that's lower vibrations. So, yeah, it's about elevating to higher vibrations. That's why it says, like, oh, I'm vibrating high today, or he's a really high vibrational person. That's what it is. That's the goal for me, anyways. My goal is to always raise from base consciousness and being a miserable NPC to being a very intriguing individual with his or her own thought processes and embracing that.
In.
You know,
This is the moment of spiritual awakening, the union of cosmic energy and cosmic consciousness,
cool.
Shakti and Shiva.
Oh,
It is the merging of our soul with the divine, transcending the limits of the physical world. This sacred union, this divine fusion, is the ultimate freedom, where we transcend all suffering and experience liberation. As the
that's
Kundalini
it.
flows through each chakra, these centers are activated to emit a pure, nourishing energy. The ancient Vedas liken this energy to a sacred river, emanating from each chakra.
The waters, the whatever they say, the flowing rivers or waters above, not waters above. They say there's some. I was gonna say something cool. Don't know what I was gonna say.
Cascading like divine water and purifying the soul. This is the journey of self-realization, the same path described in various traditions as the awakening of Christ consciousness, the pure divine light of consciousness. This process is nothing less than the most sacred and transformative experience we can imagine.
This is very esoteric and Gnostic in its roots, but yeah,
A return to the
this particular
divine
part.
within, the journey back to the source, where all things are one. The breath serves as bridge between the material and spiritual worlds, a tool to access a state where the mind falls silent, time dissolves, and universal truth is revealed. Through
Cool.
conscious breathing, we bring movement to the energy, which flows through the nadis. This movement clears blockages and opens the energetic channels, allowing for the free flow of energy. This is why constant and regular practice is so important. During this process, you may experience discomfort, such as emotional release, tension, or even physical sensations like tightness or pain. These are moments when the energy encounters blockages, whether they are emotional, mental, or physical, but it is a normal part of the process. These moments of resistance are often signs of transformation, as the energy works to clear and balance the system.
Sorry to interrupt, but this is important. The shooter who murdered my sweet little Daniel brought a highly lethal weapon with him to my son's first grade classroom at Sandy Hook Elementary. In approximately 4 minutes, he shot 154 bullets, killing 20 children and 6 educators.
It's not funny, but the roots of
This
breath work
connection
in
to breath is
ancient
not a new
teachings.
idea. Ancient texts and teachings from diverse traditions, such as the Bible, Taoism, Hinduism, Buddhism,
Wow.
shamanism, and Greek philosophy, have long emphasized the power of breath as
He didn't mention Islam.
the means of connecting with the divine and achieving physical, mental, and spiritual harmony. In the Bible, breath is often equated with spirit and life itself. For example, Job 27:3 says, "As long as my breath is in me, the Spirit of God is in my nostrils." Here, breath is viewed not just as a physical act, but as a profound spiritual experience, aligning one with divine energy. In Hinduism, breath is seen as deeply connected to the spirit. Sutra 2.51 of Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Sutras states that the fluctuations of the mind are intimately connected to the breath, and by regulating the flow of inhalation and exhalation, we can achieve mastery over the mind. In Sanskrit, prana translates to life force, and yama means control. Ancient yogis
The
believed that
control of
controlling the
life
breath
force.
influences the flow of this vital
The control of the flow of energy within the
energy
body.
throughout the body. directly affecting one's well-being and consciousness. Primordial Breath, 7 treatises. Translated from the Taoist canon, the Tao Te Ching is a book that focuses on breathing, how it can heal or harm us, depending on how we use it, and how to prolong life through breath control. This text is part of the Chinese Tao canon and dates back to around 400 BC. In ancient China, deep breathing was a fundamental aspect of Taoist practices,
Principle.
with exercises like Tao Yin, focusing on the regulation of breath to harmonize and enhance the flow of qi. In Taoism, the Chinese word qi refers to life energy, and breath and qi are inseparable. Buddhism, with its rich tradition of meditation, used breathing not only to extend life, but also to reach higher planes of consciousness.
Easily.
Breath, for all these cultures, was powerful medicine.
And this is where you have to understand that it has a lot to it, because back in the day, people were discovering this on separate islands, on separate continents. They weren't emailing each other like, hey, I just had a breakthrough. You should check this out. Do you agree? It wasn't like that, like how it is today with social media. People were on one island, people discovered this, and then 557 years later, a different continent discovers it, or 13 days later, for all we know. But like different places were discovering it on their own and finding it as the truth, not their truth to their personal life, the truth. It's unmistakable.
It has played an essential role in traditional practices worldwide. Despite their differences, many cultures viewed breathing not just as the act of drawing air into the lungs, but as the spiritual life force that creates life. In fact, in many languages, the word for breath is the same as the word used to describe life, spirit, and soul, reflecting the deep connection between breath and the essence of being. The English word spirit comes from the Latin spiritus, meaning breath. The Hebrew and Greek words for spirit or soul also have meanings related to breath. The Greeks believed that breath was connected to the mind, with both spirit and mind closely intertwined. In ancient Greece, deep breathing was referred to as pneuma, the vital breath or life force, believed to be the divine breath of the gods. The Egyptians also believed that deep breathing facilitated a connection with the divine.
A lot of our knowledge that we find in other books, religious books and texts and anything like that, a lot of us believe, by tracing backwards and backwards, that a lot of it stemmed from ancient Egyptian mythology. Very interesting.
Many of these cultures developed and practiced various breathing techniques, often designed to alter consciousness for religious, spiritual, or ceremonial purposes. Various indigenous cultures also practice deep breathing. In Native American ceremonial rituals, rhythmic breathing was used as a means to connect with nature and the spirit world. Exploring the ancient wisdom of different cultures reveals that conscious deep breathing is far more than just a biological necessity.
Now notice, this gentleman, he is talking about different cultures all experiencing very similar things. That's how you know something is the real deal.
It is a gateway to physical, mental, and spiritual transformation. Conscious breathwork.
And what do I say all the time? We must work on our 4 inner pillars. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. All 4.
Cleanses and boosts the energy channels, aligning one with higher states of consciousness. For thousands of years, it has been both a therapeutic tool and a path to spiritual awakening in ancient traditions. Over time, much of this ancient wisdom about breathing has been lost or overlooked. As modern societies advanced,
or gate-kept, where they act like it's not as important as it really is, where they don't put it in textbooks to teach us. You know, the education system could be so different. They could teach us how to do taxes correctly, how to get ahead in life financially, how to manage money. They could teach us how to tap into spirit. They could teach us how to pray properly. They could teach us how to connect to the higher power. There's many things they could do, but they don't do. So you got a question when you realize the American education system was created by the Rockefellers, weren't? Was it not?
Many of these practices faded, and Western medicine prioritized physical treatments over the energetic and spiritual dimensions of breathing. In today's world, stress, anxiety, and a general lack of awareness lead us to breathe shallowly, activating the fight or flight response and disrupting our natural deep breathing patterns. Breathing has become an unconscious process, and we are rarely taught its immense potential as a tool to reconnect with our true essence.
Yeah, that's what I was
Breathwork is
just
a
saying.
sacred practice that goes beyond physical respiration, enabling profound spiritual transformation through the mastery.
Imagine something that can help multiple of the four pillars. So it helps you physically, of course. It helps you to connect spiritually. It can help to balance and regulate your emotional state. And what's the last one? Physically, mentally, emotionally. Oh, mentally, it can clear thoughts and blockages. So all four, actually, four for four. That's why it's such a profound experience. Meditation is key, I'm
Of
telling you.
breath, one can achieve samadhi.
Meditation is key, like a key to unlocking something, but meditation is key, like ki, chi, prana. So a double meaning there. That's great.
A state of pure, transcendent consciousness, where one merges with the infinite. While breathing is as old as life itself, it has undergone a significant revolution in the past 60 years. Many of the breathwork therapies used today originated during the consciousness-raising movements of the 1960s and 1970s, and they continue to evolve as powerful tools for accessing buried traumas, releasing emotions, and raising consciousness. The practice of fuller, diaphragmatic breathing engages the lower lungs and ensures full oxygenation, allowing us to reconnect with ourselves, our spirit, and the wisdom of ancient cultures, just as our ancestors did. With this understanding in mind, let's now move into the practice.
Hot
Okay.
take for all my bed-rotting girlies. If you're depressed and your house is always a mess, the
Key components for mastering breath work.
This practice is more than just a breathing exercise. It is a powerful method designed to open energy pathways, guide you into a profound state of inner stillness, and connect you with the infinite. By practicing it consistently for 20 to 30 minutes, you can experience noticeable shifts in your perception of reality. Before we dive into the step-by-step process, let's explore some essential components for effective breathing. 1. Slowing the breath naturally. The breath should slow down naturally, without force. After a few minutes of practice, it will gradually become slower and more deliberate. Avoid forcefully manipulating the breath, as this can create tension. Instead, let the transformation arise organically through consistent practice, allowing the body and mind to align with your natural rhythm, energy flow, and the inherent patterns within your body. 2. Nasal breathing over mouth breathing. Proper breathing begins with the nose, not...
Yeah, that's why they always make fun of mouth breathers. And when I started hearing about that like 7 years ago, 10 years ago, I was like, haha. And then I went, oh, and because I realized I was a mouth breather big time, I would always be like this with my mouth open. I would never go and just breathe with my nose. And so this is different, I had to learn how to breathe in through my nose more. This is also probably why my jaw and my chin is the way it is, because it changes the shape of your face. If you're a mouth breather or a nose breather, it can yield different things where your chin is out further or more tucked in, or you have this thing like my little flab, which I hate. When I go like this, you can see my 18 shins. I hate that.
the
But yeah.
mouth. The nose filters and purifies the air before it enters the lungs, while the mouth lacks this ability. Breathing through the nose ensures cleaner, more regulated airflow, and aligns with the body's natural energy pathways. Inhaling through the nose draws the electromagnetic energy downward along the spinal column, while exhaling guides it upward. This continuous flow of energy exists within everyone and everything, and is more than just a physical sensation. It is the very pulse of life itself. When practiced consciously.
And we just learned about embryonic breathing the other day too. When you're breathing basically from your gut, like you're pushing it in and out, and from that pump, you're pumping, basically breathing. And I guess some people can do it without breathing through here and here, and they, if you hold your breath for too long, you're going to pass out. He apparently holds his breath, and he's breathing through that. You have to get very skilled at it to be able to even do it correctly, apparently. But that also apparently that's how we used to breathe when we were in the womb. So that's where the term comes from, embryonic breathing, because when we were in our embryonic stage, or embryo, and we were within the mother, that's how we would breathe. You're thinking, oh, how did we get oxygen? Well, we didn't, not like that, because we were connected through the mother. So the mother breathing gives us breath too. Okay?
It supports balance, vitality, and heightened awareness. For optimal results, keep your tongue gently resting on the roof of your mouth and focus on consistently breathing through your nose. This naturally encourages deeper, more effective breaths. 3.
I don't know if that's why that just worked way better, or if something magical happened, because my whole right nostril just opened up big time when I put my tongue to the roof of my mouth. I was able to breathe in so much easier and deeper. I don't know if that's the magic that he was talking about, or if it just happened to go that way, but that was impressive. Oh, wow. I got to get my left one more open. My right one's fully open.
Diaphragmatic breathing. Effective breathing involves engaging the diaphragm, rather than relying on shallow chest movements. When the diaphragm is activated, your stomach naturally expands and contracts with each breath, allowing you to take deeper, fuller breaths. This helps to create a stronger connection between body and mind. Known as diaphragmatic or belly breathing. This technique significantly improves oxygen flow throughout the body, helping to calm nerves and reduce stress and
anxiety. You know who you see doing that a lot is UFC fighters, MMA fighters in general, but in the UFC, because that's what I watch mostly, right? You see them go on their chair to take a 60-second break in between rounds, and you just see their stomach rising and falling, rising and falling. They're breathing through the diaphragm. They've been taught properly by breath coaches how to gain your breath. At the end of the round, maybe you went really hard and wrestled. Wrestling's more taxing than striking. So you're probably like, but what you have to do is a particular breathing technique that can eventually, by the end of that 60 seconds, you're going to go in there almost feeling fresh again. So it's like a cheat code, and they all do it,
Anxiety. As you breathe, focus on filling your belly, not just your chest.
Yeah.
When you inhale, allow your belly to expand outward, guiding the breath and energy down the spine. As you exhale, gently pull your belly inward, raising the energy back up the spine toward the brain. While some of the energy exits through the mouth, much of it circulates within, nourishing your body and brain, activating dominant brain cells in the brain. 4. Spinal alignment.
I wonder if he meant dominant, like you said, or if he meant dormant.
Posture plays a crucial role in
spinal alignment.
Control. Ancient yogis considered the spine to be an antenna for divine energy.
Oops.
And maintaining an upright spine facilitates the optimal flow of this energy. A straight posture enhances energy flow and also improves breathing efficiency. Simple techniques, such as raising the arms overhead or gently resetting your posture, can help align the spine and open the breath. By incorporating these principles and practicing pranayama regularly, breathwork can become a powerful gateway to expanding your consciousness and achieving inner mastery.
All right.
Start by sitting comfortably with your back straight. You can either sit on a chair with your feet planted firmly on the ground, or on the floor with your legs crossed. Point your tongue to the roof of your mouth and breathe fully, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Straighten your neck in line with your spine and relax your shoulders away from your ears. Relax the stomach and take a deep breath through the nose. As you inhale, you will notice your belly expanding. Breathe out slowly through the mouth. Feel your belly descend when you exhale. If you are unsure whether it is moving this way, place your hand on it to check. For a few minutes, breathe in deeply through your nose as fully as you can, until your lungs and belly feel completely filled. Focus on directing the breath into your belly, not just your chest. Then exhale fully through your mouth. Do this for just a few minutes, and notice the shift. Imagine the breath traveling down your spine as you inhale, and rising back up as you exhale. This movement flows energy through your body.
What I can tell you right now is that's a very powerful grounding technique. I just brought myself back into the present moment. Like, here's the present moment. Sometimes we're like here a little bit before or a little after, almost like we're outside of our body a little bit. Now, to ground yourself and make sure that you're perfectly centered, this is a great recommendation.
Activates your brain and renews your energy field. As you continue, pay attention to how your breath impacts your consciousness. If you increase the pace, you may notice a lightheaded sensation. This is your energy body awakening and your spirit becoming activated. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Focus on the sensation of the breath as it enters and exits your body. This simple act of concentrating on your breath anchors you in the present moment, allowing your mind to settle. If your thoughts begin to wander, something that will naturally happen, gently guide them back to your breath.
Yeah.
Each time you're
Breathwork can be a good guide during one's meditation or meditative
attention
practices.
drifts, simply return to the sensation of the breath. With time, you will notice your thoughts becoming less distracting and your mind settling more easily into stillness. Whether you are experiencing calm or turmoil, return to the breath, noticing how everything is fleeting and impermanent. Through this practice, you not only calm the mind, but also raise your awareness to higher states of consciousness. The inhalation represents the expansion of life energy within you, and the exhalation represents its release.
Nice.
Once you have brought your awareness to your breath, imagine the breath traveling up the back of your spine as you inhale.
Okay, I kind of do something similar to that when I activate the sacred secretion once a month. Very similar, where I use meditation, deep meditation for 90 minutes with wired headphones listening to solfeggio frequencies and breathing. And the breath work is how I move the oil around.
Descending down the front of your spine as you exhale. Repeat this sensation for as long as you feel comfortable. Experiment mindfully and observe the shifts in your state of awareness. Start at your own pace, beginning with cycles of 10 inhalations and 10 exhalations, followed by a 10-second pause. Gradually increase as you find your natural rhythm, allowing yourself to explore and adjust.
Oh, well, that's trippy.
You can also experiment with the speed of your breath, noticing how it affects your state of mind. Practice this exercise for 30 minutes to 1 hour each day, and you will notice significant changes.
Yeah.
You may find your mind.
That's actually what I was saying. Entry level, 15 minutes, 10 or 15, just to get used to meditating. Intermediate, 30 to 60 minutes. Adept, 90 minutes plus. I do 90 minutes usually. That's when I got skilled at it.
Becoming sharper, your creativity flowing more freely, and your dreams becoming more vivid. Breathing isn't just essential for survival. It's key to unlocking higher consciousness. It revitalizes your body, sharpens your brain, and aligns your spirit. When we meditate with focused breathing, we create a rhythm that quiets the mind, opening the door to expanded awareness. In moments of stillness and deep breathing, we begin to access parts of our consciousness that are normally out of reach. By practicing it daily, you can transform your state of mind, elevate your energy, and tap into the infinite potential of your spirit. This is the simplest, most effective way to raise your consciousness.
Wow.
I hope this information helps you. And always
It did.
remember, you hold immense power within, far beyond the physical world. You're here to awaken to it. Thank you for listening.
Wow, what a great video. Shout out to Soul Alchemy 77 for learning about breathwork and its various potentially positive components thereof and there within. Thanks so much for stopping by. It's been your boy Sigma the Stigma. Until next time, stay safe, be blessed, and live lavishly. I'm going to see all of you in the next reaction video. And until then, just know that I love you all. Peace and God bless. Peace, y'all.